Leading off for the Yankees at third base, Wade Boggs. Mariano Duncan will be at second base, batting second. Paul O'Neill hitting third. The right fielder, DH Ruben Sierra hitting cleanup. Tino Martinez at first base and batting in the fifth spot. And of course, everybody remembers the captain, Don Mattingly. Bernie Williams in center field, bat sixth. Gerald Williams batting seventh in left field. And Joe Girardi doing the catching, batting eighth, batting ninth, and playing shortstop, Derek Jeter, and he is a good-looking ball player. Dennis Martinez, oh man, he just keeps rolling along, Mercy. He's unbelievable.
40 years old, record 12-5 last year with just a smidgen over the 3 mark in ERA, 28 starts. Being 40 years old, he has been a very durable pitcher throughout his career. And Martinez delivers the first pitch to Wade Boggs on the outside corner for a called strike. Boggs last year batted .324, 5 home runs, and 63 RBIs. Signed on for another couple of years with the Yankees. That's high and outside. They'll leave the count up at 1-1.
It's amazing his defense, how it's improved.
He won his second consecutive Gold Glove.
Yep.
How many times do we hear about Wade Boggs when he was with the Red Sox? Hit on the ground towards the right side. Baerga will throw out Boggs, and there's one away. But how many times did we hear, Scooter, when he was with the Red Sox, how bad he was at third base? I've never seen that since he's been with the Yankees, obviously with 2 Gold Gloves.
Nope, he's been working out every day. He doesn't stop.
What a beautiful afternoon. It is a little bit cool here in Cleveland. You can see a capacity crowd. Of course, you'll come to any game here at Jacobs Field, and it's going to be capacity. They have sold every ticket that they can sell for 81 games here at Jacobs Field.
Standing room only has all been sold. It's unbelievable. Never happened before in baseball.
Mariano Duncan batting for the Yankees for the first time. Takes a pitch in for a called strike. Duncan last year at the National League batted .287, 6 home runs, 36 RBIs. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. The Yankees and the Indians, 1996 opener here in Cleveland. This time Martinez finds the outside corner. Now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. I guess same goes for players too. How long will it be before they get acclimated to a guy like Dennis Martinez? Of course, Martinez was in the National League, so I would suspect that Duncan knows a little bit about him.
Ooh.
Just misses outside. They'll leave the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I tell you, it's cold down there. I had a taste of that cold air up here, but you can see the umpires wearing gloves. Ball players always wear gloves anyway. There they are.
The umpires today, Phillips behind home plate. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Duncan strikes out. 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Martinez back in the middle 80s, I think it was, maybe in the middle 70s. He had some problems. Paul O'Neill batting. Next pitch on the outside corner for a call strike. 2 away. O'Neill, a .300 hitter last year, 22 home runs, 96 RBIs. Paul has beefed up a bit. Well hit in the left center field. That's going to find the gap. O'Neill will round first base, and he will trot in to stand up at second base with the first hit for the Yankees here in 1996. You know, when the season starts, it's a different person.
It really is.
It's a different player.
Well, all those records get thrown out. You know, if you had a good spring or a bad spring, everybody starts from scratch.
Ruben Sierra batting, takes the ball inside.
What's he got, spats on? Look at the shoes
What?
he's got. Oh, spats. You probably don't know what spats are. You know?
I sure do.
You're too young to know what spats are.
Oh, I know what they are.
But look at those shoes. That's
My mother spat me around years when I was young. Pitch up high for a ball, so it's 2 balls, no strikes to Sierra. Those are the same type of shoes.
Oh, you know what it is? The shoelaces. They're the same.
Those are built onto the shoe. I think that's like a Shaquille O'Neal type model, isn't it?
No kidding. I don't
think
know.
he had basketball shoes that look similar to that. Popped up left side. Iskill with the put out, and the Yankees are down. Yankees lead Paul O'Neill at second base. We've played a half an inning here at Jacobs Field. No score with the Indians coming to bat.
For the Yankees, defensively, we have Gerald Williams in left, Bernie Williams in center, Paul O'Neill in right, Wade Boggs at third, Derek Jeter the shortstop, Mariano Duncan at second, and Tino Martinez at first. Behind the plate, Joe Girardi, and on the mound, we'll tell you all about it, David Cohn and Bobby Mercer.
Well, David is making his 13th regular season start as a New York Yankee. He signed a multi-year contract with the Yankees this winter. I suspect that Coney would probably be finishing out his career here as a New York Yankee. Kenny Lofton will lead it off for the Indians. First pitch swinging, lofts it down the left field line shallow. Gerald Williams is there with the glasses down, and we've got a high sky today, so that may become a problem to the outfielders and infielders.
You could see the sun shining off the glasses.
No clouds in the sky, a bright sunshiny day here in Cleveland. Julio Franco will bat for the Indians. He bats second in the order. In Japan, batted .306, 10 home runs, 58 RBIs. He had one of the weirdest stances I've ever seen in my life. David Cohn delivers in for a call strike.
Well, he's changed it. At least on that first pitch, he changed it.
I hope we can get a shot of Julio Franco's.
Oh, there he goes back.
His hand position on the bat, swing and a miss, or a foul back. No balls, 2 strikes to Franco. He only holds the bat with the bottom hand with 2 fingers.
Oh man!
I mean, it's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anybody else do that in baseball. And I tried that one time. You can't swing the bat. I mean, a normal person can't swing the bat.
There's a shot of it. Look at that. And he has terrific bat control in the way he holds that bat up over his head and pointing towards center field and able to get it around. Mercer's right.
Hold your hand still so we can get a shot of that. See that? Unbelievable. Foul back off to the right side. Count remains 1-2. One away here at the bottom of the first inning. No score between the Indians and the Yankees. David Cohn, well, he didn't have the best of springs, but when spring training was about to end, he said, I'm ready. And an individual guy like David Cohn, he knows when his arm is ready.
Yep.
Sidearm curveball missing way outside.
And they have the luxury of knowing that they've made the team, so they want to get themselves in shape, the arm in shape and the legs in shape, and the rest will follow. And he realizes he's not nearly as fast as he used to be, so he's mixing up his pitches a little more.
Up high and inside, 3-2. Well, a concern about Cohn was that, like you alluded to, maybe a little bit of the bloom off the fastball. And last year he threw an awful lot of curveballs. Now, that may be an indication too that when you know you don't have that fastball that you used to have, that you could blow by those hitters, you may you may bring in that curveball a little bit more.
Change the speed a little more up.
3-2, foul back and out of play. Can you imagine the Cleveland Indians, who led the league last year in hitting, has a great offensive ball club, adds another guy like Julio Franco to this lineup. And of course, talking about new players on a ball club, Joe Girardi catching the game here for the Yankees.
The foul tip whacked him right on the mask. He's an excellent receiver.
Curveball, 3-2. Misses. They appeal. He did not go around. So that'll bring up Carlos Baerga, switch hitter, batting from the left side against David Cohn. Baerga batting .314 last year, 15 home runs, 90 RBIs. And you're going to see that all day long. As Scooter mentioned, there are a number of 300 hitters in this lineup. And David Cohn is having problems finding the strike zone. Now, Scooter, on a cold day like this, how difficult is it for a pitcher to really get the good grip on the baseball?
I think it's tougher for a pitcher naturally in this kind of weather, although they're keep themselves a little bit warm, but they're allowed to blow on their hands at least while they're on the mound to warm them up, but they don't have that same touch.
There goes the runner. The pitch is swung on. Bounce towards second. Duncan will flip to Martinez at first. Franco will end up at second base, 2 away. Bell will trot down to first base. The second walk that David Cohn has given up here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. That'll bring up Eddie Murray.
Cohn does throw a lot of pitches. There he is. Mel Stottlemyre. He just got to the Yankees at the wrong time to get in some of those World Series, Mercer.
Well, he came on in 1964, I think Mel did. And if you look at his record during those bad days. I was there too.
Yes, that's right. Oh, that's right.
20 game winners, and
Yeah.
his ERA around 1.50 and 2 point. I mean, he had some kind of years. And this guy's had some kind of year too. Eddie Murray swings and fouls the first pitch, backing out of play. I mean, these guys just keep playing, and look at the numbers that Eddie Murray put up as a 40-year-old. 323, 21 home runs, 82 RBIs. Well, I mean, I say 40, Scooter. To me, 40 is not old.
No.
How about you?
No, it's
Not old to you either, right?
no way.
So big deal. It's old in baseball, though.
Yeah.
Baseball terms.
But I mean, how many teams gave up on him? He said, "Oh, he's had his
gonna
best
break
years.
down,
And he's
yeah.
getting better and better. You have Baltimore, the Mets, all the other clubs he's been with, and even this club let him go. I mean, didn't let him go, but he was open to free agency, but then he came back to them.
Well, struck into right center field. Bernie Williams on the run, and he'll get there. So the Indians threaten here at the bottom of the first inning. They leave a couple on. No score. We've played one here at Jacobs Field. As will bat for the first time as a New York Yankee. He'll be followed by Bernie Williams and then Gerald Williams. Dennis Martinez working his second inning. That's up high for a ball to Martinez. Last year with the Mariners, batting .293, 30 home runs, 31 that is, 111 RBIs. He has got a sweet swing, not on the outside corner for a called strike.
Not like Paul O'Neill. He can go the opposite way with power in between those line drives.
Big addition for the Yankees. Adds some pop into this lineup. That's foul backing out of play. Martinez, of course, during spring training had to answer a lot of questions about, well, what's it going to be like replacing the legend Don Mattingly. And he said, look, I'm not trying to replace Don Mattingly. I just want to be Tino Martinez, and nobody can replace Mattingly. And
that's true.
He had a lot of respect for Donnie, as all the New Yorkers had, and all the people around baseball. Obviously, the Yankees will miss him. Outside for a ball, 2-2.
Well, it's tough too for Girardi taking over for Mickey Stanley. He's done well against the Indians in those stats. And that's Mike Stanley.
Pop backing out of play, so the count remains 2-2. For a capacity crowd, this is a real quiet crowd.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. Maybe they just yelled a little bit too much last year. They had a great time here. I mean, this town is really just buzzing.
That's right.
In 1995, but as we hear from Leon Swire, they have gloves on. That's the reason it's so quiet.
Quiet clapping, yes.
That would make for a muffled sound, I guess. Everybody in Cleveland is wearing a Cleveland Indians hat. Up high, ball 4, so Tino Martinez will be on. You don't have low blood pressure.
Yes, I do.
Do you really? How low is it?
Well, it's in the good side of the good part of the low.
The upper low or the lower low? Bernie Williams takes one up high. Bernie 307, 18 home runs.
Don't confuse me, Mercer.
Why are we talking about blood pressure anyway? You're getting my blood pressure up. Martinez back in time. There was some concern about Julio Franco and how he was going to play first base and whether he was going to be able to acclimate himself. He played first base a long time ago, and played first base also in Japan, so I don't think there's that much worry. Up high. Talk about a guy coming into his own. Bernie Williams last year.
Beautiful.
Finally mature. And I think you haven't seen the last of Bernie Williams and the numbers that he's going to put up.
No, and he's getting better and better as a base runner, too. Yeah, late bloomer is right. Look at those slow starts he's had. In April, May, and then he starts coming along in June.
Yeah, he hit 332 over the last 100 and almost 20 games. Rounder right side by Erga. Vizquel back to Franco. And not in time, so they get the lead runner. One away.
Ooh, that was awful close.
Gerald Williams will bat. Bernie on at first base.
All these new things they got in these lineup cards.
Gerald batted .247 for the Yankees last year. Hit 6 home runs, drove in 28.
Had an outstanding spring. Ooh, what a move by Martinez.
Yankees a little bit banged up at the moment. They've got 4 guys on the disabled list, including Pat Kelly at second base. Tim Raines in the outfield. I think Raines is scheduled to come off the DL maybe on the 5th of April. Not sure if he's ready to play yet. Scott Kamenicki is also on the DL. Of course, Tony Fernandez, who broke his elbow. That really did hurt the Yankees in spring training. And Tony could be out for the rest of the year.
That's the one. I think the fans were more upset with them letting Velarde get away than they were Stanley and Showalter.
No balls and a strike to Gerald. He fouls this one back and out of play. So the count goes to 0-2. One away here at the top of the second inning. No score between the Indians and the Yankees. Dennis Martinez. Good fastball, and he's got that hard over the table curve.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
He's got good location.
Remember Camilo Pascual?
Oh, do I
had
ever?
One like that.
Shallow right field. Ramirez will bag it. There's 2 away. Joe Girardi will bat. Girardi batting .262, 8 home runs, 55 RBIs for the Colorado Rockies in the National League last year. Mike Stanley ended up with the Boston Red Sox as a free agent. And the Yankees, I'm guessing by what I read in the paper, that Joe Torre obviously and Bob Watson, the new general manager, knew a lot about Girardi in the National League, and they opted for a little bit more defense and gave up a little bit of offense. Stanley, a good offensive player. That pitch foul back and out of play. So Joe Torre with the Cardinals last year. And Joe Girardi.
Did you say Joe Torre was with the Cardinals last year?
Just briefly, right?
Still Joe.
Yeah, just he didn't last the whole year. Time is called. Bernie Williams on at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away here in the top of the second inning. And you can see it is a cool afternoon here in Cleveland. Pitchers are allowed to blow on their hands. They have been given permission by the umpires. That's outside and low, ball 2, 2-1.
You could use cold and be correct. It's a lot colder than cool.
It's colder than cold. It's colder than chilly, I guess.
Yeah.
Up high and outside, ball 3. So Girardi will get a chance to hit his pitch if he wants it. That's that old fastball they try to sneak back out on the outside corner. They run it outside and then try to run it on the corner.
Watching that Maddox pitch for the Braves yesterday, even though he had a bad day early before he got hit with that line drive, he's got a pitch like that.
There goes Bernie on a 3-1 pitch. It's up high, ball 4. So the Yankees, with 2 outs, have runners at first and second. Second walk given up by Martinez. I'm a little bit leery about sending a runner on 3-1. You got to really know that hitter, because a lot of hitters, I can only go back to myself. I wouldn't swing at that pitch even if it was a strike unless it was in the zone that I was looking for. So with 2 outs, so if you're just going to let it go, that's fine. But
I know
you really got to know your hitter.
And some hitters get a little excited. They see the runner going, they'll swing at a bad pitch. So it is a tough one.
Derek Jeter batting for the first time. And the Yankees obviously extremely high on Derek Jeter. Ball 1 outside to Jeter.
Boy, he's a good kid to talk to. I didn't realize how tall he is.
Now, Scooter, you broke in as a young infielder. What's this kid going through?
Well, he is more mature than I was at the same age. I mean, he's unbelievable. Nothing bothers him. And, I think his only problem is his arm, and it's not that big a problem. But the majority of his errors are on throws. Got good range for a big kid. Reminds me of Slats Marion, old Cardinal shortstop.
Up high, ball 2. What kind of advice would you give? Have you had a chance to talk to Jeter at all?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I had two long talks with him. I mean, he amazed me. Gene Michaels brought me over to meet him when we were down in Tampa. And he's a kid that if he won't come and ask you anything, but if you want to tell him something, he'll listen.
I look up to Mr. Rizzuto a lot. I got a chance to get to know him when he was broadcasting my first year in '95, first time I had a chance to meet him. And I've always, watched highlights of him, because I was a Yankee fan. But getting a chance to actually meet him in person is something that's pretty special. And now when he comes, he sort of goes out of his way to come over and tease me a little bit. So it means a lot for me to have that kind of relationship with a Hall of Fame player.
Did you play over a year?
Did you play the outfield at all in the minor leagues?
No.
No.
I did
just
not.
When you came up, how about that?
Just in the big leagues. I kept believing that I was going to come around. I fooled them. And coming around is Dennis Martinez, sidearm to strike out Derek Jeter to end the inning. We played 1.5 here in Cleveland, no score. Jim Thome batting here in the bottom of the second inning, leading off for the Indians. He'll be followed by Manny Ramirez and Sandy Alomar. Another 300 hitter in 1995 for the Indians. 25 home runs. And that pitch foul back and out of play. 2 balls and a strike to Thome.
That was a great job. Whoever picked that up with Mercer here and I involved in it.
And I'm trying to remember back to that day. That was '81, obviously, 15 years ago. And a pinch hit. Pinch hit, right? I think Gene, the Stick Michael was the manager, and I was minding my own business. I'd had 2 or 3 hot dogs. I think I still had some mustard on my face. He said, I need you to go up and hit. I said, hey, man, it's cold outside. This was opening day. I mean, it was cold. I'm glad he asked me, though. It turned out all right.
You and Babe Ruth with the hot dogs,
yeah.
huh?
Well, that's about the only similarities that the Babe and I have.
Oh, no. How do you like that?
3 balls, 2 strikes to Thome, leading off here in the second.
That was the year the Yankees won the pennant, too.
Yeah, '81 was, we were in the series with the Dodgers in 1981. Well, that's an awful memory, too. Up high, gets away from Girardi.
Ooh, I think he was crossed up then. Did you see that? He was looking for the ball to break and went right over his glove.
That is the 3rd walk given up by David Cone. First game of the 1996 season. It's cold. If you're looking for an excuse or looking for something that would cause the pitchers not to be as accurate as they normally would be, no doubt you got to have the good feel on the baseball. And a former New Yorker here, Manny Ramirez, a check swing. Martinez down to Jeter, back to Cone, and they pull the double play off.
Wow.
What a difficult play that is, and the youngster at shortstop gave Cone a great throw at first to complete the double play.
Tell you, fine play by Martinez at first base. Just followed the ball down, and you're right, Jeter took his time and yet unloaded. He's got a great arm, and it was perfectly timed because Cone just crossed the bag and stuck his hand out. Oh, that's an excellent play. Watch Martinez now. He just runs down, flips to Jeter. Quick release. And got him. Oh, that was pretty.
That is not an easy double play. Sandy Alomar bats with 2 away here in the second. That's a 3-6-1 double play if you're keeping score.
Even if you're not keeping score.
3-6-1.
3-6-1.
Sandy Alomar, who has been bothered by injuries throughout his career.
He has.
I mean, he is really. Scooter, there's just some things that you can't explain. One of them is Sharply hit. Look at Jeter. What a play by the youngster. And he's made 2 of them in this inning. A nice play by Derek Jeter at shortstop. That's got to be a confidence booster for the young man. The Yankees and the Indians, we've played 2, and there's no score.
All right, there's Jeter on the bench, but let's get a look at that last play. Look at that. On his knees, gets up quickly. For a big guy, that is very difficult to do. And then a perfect throw. Doesn't rush his throw. It's great. Or throws off that back leg. And a lot of young shortstops and infielders throw off the front leg. Now, I wonder what this... didn't hurt himself, or is he talking like
Bobby? I think that's Chris Chambliss, the batting instructor. So Jeter struck out his last time at bat. And I think he's saying, hey, don't worry about that, man. You just you made a couple of good plays. It'll come around.
I think the difference between the major leagues and the minor leagues is the level of consistency. I think in order to stay here, you have to play at a consistent level. I think a lot of people in the minor leagues have the talent. Otherwise, they wouldn't be playing. But to stay here, you have to be consistent, and it's something I'm working on daily. I mean, I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm just trying to learn from those mistakes and trying to improve and trying to get more and more consistent.
I was talking about some things you just can't explain, or I can't explain them. Some guys are just injury prone. There's just no way to explain that. I think Pat Kelly is
Kelly, definitely.
Sandy Alomar is injury prone. I mean, they've got bodies like Adonis's.
Yeah.
For some reason or another, they're just injury prone. And the other thing I can't explain is why every time I put my socks in the dryer, only one of them comes out. Where does the other one go? I want to know.
Yes, that has been a mystery for the ages.
Shallow center field. It should be an easy play for Lofton. 1 away. Talking about Dennis Martinez's wins and being from Nicaragua, he is currently the second winningest Latin American pitcher of all time. Can you guess who the first is?
Marshall?
Paul O'Neill. Takes the ball up high. No,
I guess not. Let me see.
You know him too. He's a good guy, good friend.
How do you like that? Now, wait a minute. Give me a chance, because I'm a little slow. Got to go back.
I'm sorry, Scooter.
What?
You're right.
What?
I hate to admit it. As much as I hate to admit it, you are right. It is Marshall.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah. I was looking.
Put a star next to that.
Yeah, I'll put a star against that. I will admit that. 1 ball, 1 strike to O'Neill. I was looking, and it was Louis Tiant who Martinez passed to become the second place winningest pitcher. But Marshall, he is the number 1. Martinez slips one outside, just barely outside, to even the count up at 2-2. Last time up, Paul O'Neill struck a double into left center field. Well hit. First hit for the Yankees in 1996.
Yeah, with the Reds, he never had the great year like he had with the Yankees the year before last, 320.
Paul has put on about, I would say about 10 pounds worth of muscle. Additional muscle. Swings at a high pitch, fouls it back out of play. Those guys, I mean, they hit those weight rooms hard.
Yeah, huh?
Everybody has muscles just bulging all over.
You know who's doing a lot of that now? Golfers, too.
Not
that
building.
drive in the legs.
Oh, yeah, but not building.
No.
Because that would
it would hurt. I mean, their legs, they're getting stronger.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where they get most of their power from, is from their legs,
that's right.
The lower body.
Did you see Couples win those last 3 holes?
That was exciting. That really was. I felt bad for Tommy Tolles.
Oh, yeah.
The young man had it. But in that game, on that level, anybody can do those heroic things. Well, struck down the left field line. Could be a hard play.
Get it.
Albert Kelly won't get there. All the way against the wall. They're going to wave Duncan around, and he's going to score. And the Yankees take a 1-0 lead here in the third.
Oh, that was a tough play as Bell. The ball got by Bell, and then when he tried to play the carom off the wall, it went right between his legs. And by the time he picked it up, Duncan can move. It's good to see that. But how about that O'Neill going the opposite way again?
If anything is lacking here with the Indians, it's their defense. Ruben Sierra takes one inside for a called strike. They led the league in ERA as far as their pitching staff was concerned last year, and in hitting. The defense wasn't that bad. I mean, I guess if you got to find fault with something, you talk about the weakest part. Off the end of the bat into shallow left field, and Kenny Lofton is there. Boy, he has a great speed, and just the last second he can catch up with a baseball. I thought that was going to fall. Seen some great center fielders over the year.
Oh, man.
Tino Martinez with a chance to drive in O'Neill at second with 2 away. Hits it on the ground towards the right side by Erga. They'll flip to Franco, but the Yankees strike here at the top of the third. They lead 1. They've had a couple of hits at the end of 2 1/2. The Yankees lead the Indians 1-0. We go to the bottom of the third inning. The Yankees lead it 1-0. David Cone has not allowed a hit so far. Omar Vizquel will bat. He's the only one in this game that has not batted yet. So this is his first time. And the first pitch to Vizquel is in there for a called strike. Well, the poor guy, everybody else hits 300. He hits 266. They say, what a terrible hitter, Vizquel. He can't hit. He's a great fielder, but he can't hit. 266 is worth about $4 million today.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But those shortstops, they not only the smartest players on the team, but very valuable.
I agree. Especially back in my younger career. That's up high for a ball. 2-1 now to Omar. Mike Hargrove.
I don't want to say what Ted Williams said. Stevie used to get mad when Ted Williams said that pitchers are the dumbest of all ball players.
Well, and you would expect that to come from Ted, though, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't mean it as
no.
He meant on the mound pitching to a hitter. I think that's what he was talking about.
I think knowing baseball.
Knowing baseball and how to work a hitter.
Yes.
But how did you work Ted Williams? There wasn't any real way to do it.
No way.
Obviously.
No.
Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yankees lead at 1-0.
But that Seaver, he surprised me. He knew more about baseball than I thought he did. Gave him credit for.
Well, hit into center field, but right at Bernie. And there's 1 away. Well, the reason for that is because I used to prep Seaver prior to you asking him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Number 7, Kenny.
I haven't talked to Tom in a long time. Have you heard from him?
I've heard from him, but not as often as I'd like. I mean,
all you Hall of Famers always call each other all the time. Leave us other guys alone.
No, but he was seriously considering buying a vineyard out in Napa Valley and having his own vineyard. A lot of the movie stars are doing that now.
Well, I know he can grow some flowers. Kenny Lofton.
He's always in the garden.
Always in the garden. You know, when he broadcast here, he had the worst looking hands.
Yeah.
I mean, he had cuts and scrapes and scratches, bites.
He got down on his knees.
Always working in that garden.
Yep.
Kenny Lofton. Fly out to left field. Hacks this one down the left field line, but it's going to curve foul. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he hit that ball. He swung so easy. But I just wanted to say, I was watching the Braves game. I never saw balls jump out of a park easier than in that park.
Well, the Braves hit 5 home runs.
Yeah, and they were good pitches too, low and away, high and inside.
Foul, and Girardi not able to hang on. Kind of a disappointing crowd for opening day in Atlanta. Of course, they got the Summer Olympics coming up.
Yeah,
they're really, fighting the entertainment dollars in that area.
It's they showed the new site and the old and the ballpark park they're playing in now. It's right near the old one. It's going to be some mess when the Olympics start and there's a ball game going on.
Inside for a ball, 2-2.
The Indians, the whole lineup is powerful.
This is a launching pad.
Yep.
Inside corner, strike 3. So David Cone has found the strike zone here in the third. There's 2 away. That'll bring up Julio Franco, who walked back in the first inning. Outside corner for a call strike.
Painting the corners, isn't he?
Franco, 34 years old. His second time around with the Indians. He signed with the Indians back in 1978. Played 83 here at Cleveland. Boy, Girardi is taking a beating already.
This inning, yeah. I think I got his meat hand, the throwing hand. Oh.
Big curveball misses outside.
He came side on that side. It's good to do that every once in a while. That's got to throw a hitter off. You don't see it all game and sneak one in on him.
Low and outside. 2-2. And David Cone, so far in this ball game with 2 outs here in the third, has not allowed a hit. And the breaking ball, did he go around? They will.
Nope, he did.
Merrill, he said no.
That's the second time he's been able to hold up.
Swing and a miss. He just blew it by him. So David Cone strikes out 2 of 3 here in the third, and we've played 3. Yankees lead the Indians 1-0.
Well, you met him at the top of the show. Bobby Mercer introduced him. And now, once again, Rick Cerrone, who is not quite a rookie. He did some games with us last year. Rick, congratulations. Good to see you.
Thanks, Scooter. And I got a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh, why?
I heard you and Mercer talking about the shortstop being the smartest player on the field.
Yeah.
Well, then explain to me, how come all the great managers are catchers, former catchers?
Managers are overrated. Did you know that? No, they're really overrated. If you got a good team, you're a good manager. If you got a lousy team, how many games can a manager win? Tell me, Cerrone.
That's true. I mean, they probably can lose more games for you than win games.
Right.
But I still wanted to touch on that about
All right.
those smart players.
Hey, here's today's trivia question. We're going to ask in a little while. And that's Rick Cerrone's job. There's he got him. Good play.
Omar Vizquel looking to pick up his 4th consecutive Gold Glove at shortstop. I think we were treated during the World Series, Scooter. The plays that he kept making.
Unbelievable.
Can you name the 7 players in American League history to hit 50 or more home runs in one season?
Oh, I got that written down. You know where I got it? Back at the hotel.
Well, we know Albert Bell is one. That's for sure. Did it last year.
What was the question again?
7 American leaguers to hit over 50 home runs.
Over 50?
50 or more
50
home
or
runs.
more. Jimmy Fox is Albert Bell, we know. Catchers are having a tough time today.
And especially with the cold weather. You saw Sandy Alomar right there, just got hit in the bare hand. Now it takes a little bit longer for that the feeling of the fingers to come back after on a cold day. I heard you guys talking about the pitcher.
Ooh, it's really rough on the catchers. Ooh, just missed. I tell you, there's been several pitches that Dennis Martinez has wanted, Rick, and the umpire just hasn't given to him.
Well, I caught Dennis in Montreal in '92, and he wants his catcher to actually sit off the corner. So he gets extra pitches called strikes, but you'll see Sandy Alomar move an awful lot behind the plate. Dennis would rather you be off the plate away. That way he figures, okay, he doesn't miss inside with the pitch.
All right, but that fastball of his does tail back once in a while, right?
Does tail back, and look at how it tailed back on Gerald Williams.
Yeah. Gerald Williams fly to right field first time up, and did he swing? No, he did not. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Yankees leading 1-0. A lot of Seton Hall ball plays in the big leagues now. You know, it's their own foul back at the plate.
It's amazing, that little school in South Orange, New Jersey. Mo Vaughn last year.
How about Biggio?
Biggio's from Seton Hall.
I got to meet him down the shore. Went down the shore one day, and he came in. Oh, yeah. Who's that kid?
John Valentin.
John Valentin. Oh, man.
It's amazing, and the conditions, the playing conditions at the Hall really aren't that great.
He laid off 3 balls, 2 strikes.
The one thing that they like to do back there is when a player signs, last year where they had the #1 pick again for St. Louis, Matt Morris, make a little contribution back to the school.
Struck him out. So Dennis Martinez picks up a strikeout. All right, Joe Girardi walked his first time up. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Joe Torre experimented with Girardi in spring training, had him hit second in the lineup. Runs real well for
Yeah, he does. He hit that one home run. I watched it on the game was televised. He really creamed it. There's that pitch again. 0-2. Is that Joe Torre?
Joe Torre.
Joe Torre. Now he started out as a catcher, right?
Another manager.
Whoa, there's the one Martinez wanted. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Got him. So easy inning for Martinez. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 3.5. Yankees won, the Indians nothing. Carlos Baerga will be the batter and takes the ball.
207 home runs. They won 100 ball games.
Oh, they had some kind of year. I couldn't believe that they lost the World Series, really. Except the pitching was so great for Atlanta. But I mean, with the power that the Indians had and everybody hitting, it just looks like they all went into a slump at one time. Baerga bounced to second his first time up. Sun shining brightly. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's what Mercer and I were talking about. That he throws as hard as he used to, and he's coming up with he's worked on a couple of different pitches, and that must be one of them, to change the speed and the break.
Instead of getting the real big sweeping breaking ball, he tights it up just so it looks like a little fastball that cuts in on their hands.
Low. Full count, 3-2. And he's smart enough to realize that he doesn't have that good fastball anymore. All the time in the middle 90s. And you got to throw those hitters off, because if you start throwing a lot of fastballs and you don't get it over 90, you're in trouble, Cerrone. High fly, playable, and coming in. 1 man out. O'Neill makes the catch.
I know you guys were talking about that high sky. Not as difficult here as, say, in Florida, when they used to run the catchers out there, or Arizona in spring training. We'd have no chance of catching pop-ups. You'd miss them by 10, 15 feet sometimes. Just as long as they didn't hit you on top of your head, you're okay.
They didn't shoot him with that gun, did they?
Gun is high as a...
man, they really get up there. That is tough. All right, here's Albert. Albert Bell walked his first time up, popped it up, but it'll be out of play. Nice catch.
How about Albert Bell last year?
Oh, what a year he had.
31 home runs he hit in August and September. 17 alone in the month of September to tie Babe Ruth's record. I mean, that's
right. That is something.
And he's up there with some pretty good company.
Yeah. Now, how many games were there last year?
144 ball games.
144. He had 50 home runs.
50 home runs, 52 doubles. Only player in the history to do that. Look at that. First half, he got off to a little slow start, but nobody was fooling him the second half.
No. 2 balls, 1 strike on Bell. David Cohn. I guess they feel stronger in this kind of weather, but
hitters really don't like, Scooter. Hitters don't like to get in there with that cold weather.
Hit one on the fist or the end of the bat. High fly, deep center field. No, Bernie's got room. Good to see him turn around. Once you see the outfielder turn around, you know he's going to get it. Cohn doesn't throw a ball completely straight anytime. He always does a little something.
He actually should be a left-hander.
He should.
Cohn is a left-hander in a right-hander's body.
That's good. Yeah.
This is your 40th year broadcast.
Yes.
Now, you've seen Eddie Murray since he came up in 76.
Yeah.
The thing that amazes me, same
stance.
That's consistency over a long period of time.
It really is. And what he has done, when he first came up, he could not hit a changeup even if you told him it was coming.
We used to call changeup after changeup.
Yep.
But now, you mean the way he distributes his weight, he starts it with all on his backside and then shifts it through the ball.
He held up. Walked him on 4 straight pitches. Outside, ball 1 to Tomei. He walked his first time up. How many walks that Cone got? 1, 2, 3, 4 walks he's allowed.
See, there's really nobody in this Cleveland Indians lineup that you can pitch around.
Nope.
You talked about 8 guys hitting over 300.
2 balls, no strikes. And Girardi now asks for time and goes out.
Cone says of all the lineups he's faced, this one, there's no breather.
No, that's right.
In the National League, and he talks about this, in the National League, as a pitcher, you have a little breather down in the order.
That's right.
You have the pitcher hitting. Usually you could pitch around the number 7 hitter to go after the 8th guy.
That's right.
He says you have a little breather. Look at this Indian lineup.
No way. In there. Didn't give him that fastball. Didn't give up on it.
Tomey's right on top of the plate. His back foot is almost out of the batter's box. And as a catcher, it takes away. Now the outside corner of the plate really is his sweet spot.
Yeah.
Makes it tougher to call pitches.
Oh, what a jump. Holy cow. Oh, I don't know whether Cone completely forgot about him or what, but Eddie Murray, who doesn't usually steal bases, I mean, he saw something and he took off. He was halfway down before Cone delivered the pitch. Foul out of play. Now he's got to bear down. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Talk about even this situation, Scooter. You got the base open now. Murray, okay, but you got the right-hander on deck, Ramirez. But there's a guy hit 31 home runs
and he's
over
killed the Yankees too. I mean, he's been in a lot of trouble. You know, Albert Bell gets in trouble, but Ramirez has really been in trouble lately. He got, I think twice in the same day he got speeding tickets. Yeah, he walked him.
It's like picking your poison. Go after Tomei. Okay, you fell behind. You had the base open. So go ahead and don't give in to him. Now make your quality pitches to Ramirez.
All right. 5 walks given up by Cone. And now Ramirez, who he bounced into that double play. That was an excellent double play they made. From Martinez to Jeter right back to Cone.
You know, whenever you have to get the pitcher involved in a fielding play, you're asking for trouble.
Just happened Jeter gave him a perfect throw to it the way Cone was running. All right, 2 out, 2 on, and that's high, ball 1.
Right now, it looks like Cone is starting to come out of his rhythm.
Yeah. And Stoudemire is going to come out along with Girardi. Well, actually, the catch is the first one to be able to tell whether he's lost any velocity or his control. And that's high. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0, 2 out, 2 on.
Now you notice the breaking balls are starting to come up in the strike zone. Early in the spring, you have to watch out the pitch count for David Cone.
And that's high, 3-0. 2 men on have walked. This would be the 3rd walk, and all of them with 2 out should he walk them. Can't give in. Ramirez might be swinging away on 3-0.
Tony wants to get a new set of signs.
Oh, he took one right down Broadway. 3-1. Plenty on that ball too. A lot of pitches ease up on 3-0, don't they?
Well, they think most hitters are taking.
Yeah.
This Indians team, they come swinging from the time they get off the bus.
All right, they lead away. And high fly to right field. It's playable. on the warning track. O'Neill makes the catch, and they get out of the jam. Whoa. At the end of 4 full innings, it's the Yankees 1, the Indians nothing.
Here's the answer to today's trivia question. Now, come on, Scooter. Can you name the 7 players in American League history to hit 50 or more home runs in one season? Go right down the list. Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth. Oh, yeah, Jimmy Fox.
Hank Greenberg. Roger Maris. Mickey Mantle. Cecil Fielder. And Albert Bell.
How do you like
Imagine
that?
only 7 of all time and Albert Bell in the ballpark today.
That's the American League.
American League.
There have been some National Leaguers that have hit 50 or more. No, that's right. And a bluff bunt. Derek Jeter takes it high, ball 1. Derek struck out his first time up. He handles the bat well. He can get around on that inside pitch. And that's ball 2, 2-0.
He's had a lot of success in the minor leagues hitting, but it's learning all over again.
Yeah.
Getting a little comfort zone facing the American League pitcher is going to be a little tougher for him.
Oh, he got around on that one. That's gone. Holy cow. I told you can get around on that inside pitch, a high fastball, and he creamed it. His first big league home run. And, man, that jumped out. That watch Bell. I thought he was going to. He didn't even make a move for it. The Yankees now lead 2-0. Nice going, Derek.
Now, learning American League pitchers become a little bit easier.
Yep.
When you start leaving the yard. That's got to be a great feeling. I talked to him today about what it's like. You know, first game, he says, well, maybe in New York I'll be a little more nervous. Today I feel pretty good.
Yeah, he's that kind of kid. But that talk that Chambliss gave him before, remember when they were on the top steps after he had struck out his first time up? Look at that.
And you could see the reaction, too, from Dennis Martinez as soon as he threw it.
Yep.
You still have to hit it, and he hit it a long way.
All right, 1 ball, 1 strike on Wade Boggs now. Boggs 0 for 2, bounced the second fly to center. So Derek Jeter gets the Yankees' first home run of the year. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strike. Wouldn't that be something if he gets that home run swing down? Whew, in the 9th spot.
Yeah, I think the Yankees would like him to just pick everything at shortstop.
Yeah, that's true.
Make all the routine plays.
Foul back out of play.
You know, we talk about Dennis Martinez, 231 wins lifetime, but he's only 2-13 versus the Yankees.
That's something.
I mean, it's funny how that goes.
Yeah.
He has not beaten the New York Yankees since 1982 when he was a member of the Orioles.
You know, it's amazing, and I often wonder, there are a lot of pitchers like that who can't beat certain teams, and yet they pitch them against them every time they play each other. There he is.
I mean,
he's got the ball. Did he get the ball?
Wow, that is some good extension.
Oh, that is.
Ball up in the strike zone. You don't see too many high ball hitters anymore.
Nope.
He just took that high ball and hit it a long way.
Oh, man. Look, he's jumping out of his skin down. That's got to be some feeling. Well, there's the guy that got it. They usually go, and you know that.
Well, we're in foreign territory. We're in Cleveland. We're not at home in New York. They might be able to get it.
But normally, line foul. No, you know, it's not like Chicago. And they had a home run, they throw it back in if it's a visiting team, right?
If that's your first major league home, you're running back out to the outfield to get that
get
ball.
it. That's right. Climb in the stands. I should say so. But I think somebody will figure out a way to get it. Somebody on the Yankees already planning a little course. 2-0 Yankees lead. High fly ball. And Bell coming in. Makes the catch. 1 away. Oh. Hey, they're on the ball. They're going to ask him.
Now they're making a deal. Let's make a deal. Negotiate.
That's exactly. Now that guy probably wants some money or a couple of bats thrown in and a glove, maybe. An old pair of spikes. He's making. Look at him. Yeah, I want. Okay. Trip to New York.
2 bats. I think he just
2 bats.
Point 2 fingers. 2 bats.
No, he just shook his head no at the offer. Oh, you've got to give him an offer he can't refuse there. He knows how much it means to the kid. Nothing in one, the count. Mariano Duncan 1 for 2. Foul back. 0-2.
You know, in our opening we talked about new faces.
Yeah.
But you know, the Yankees right now are hit by the injury bug.
Ooh,
Tim Raines is supposed to be the starting left fielder.
Right.
You had Tony Fernandez. I think Tony Fernandez's injury really hurt them because now they really don't have protection in the middle infield.
Nope.
Duncan was brought in the Velarde role to play all the infield positions.
Oh, and Martinez, like a cat out there, makes the play. 2 away. No, that's true. And Kelly, he's one of those guys who were talking about. Bobby was talking about how, you know, they're injury prone. Every year there's something wrong with them. It's a shame with Kelly too. He was off to a great start last year. He got hurt. It looks like Fernandez might be out for the year. I mean, I've read some papers and some reports like it's such a serious injury.
Well, he broke his elbow. He's on a 60-day emergency DL. If it's only 60 days, it'll be a miracle.
Yep. All right, here's O'Neill, who is 2 for 2, 2 doubles. Run batted in. Yankees 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Indians all goose eggs up there. No runs, no hits, no errors. Ooh, that was a tricky pitch. They must have taken a little bit off that one.
Good changeup.
Ooh. That's close.
It's close.
Yes.
And it's close, but that's how Dennis wants his catcher to receive the ball, off the plate. He doesn't want to make mistakes in the middle of the plate.
And he got him. Ball tailing away. After the homer, he ties him in order. The home run for Derek Jeter. And at the end of 4.5, Yankees 2 and the Indians nothing. I can't believe that this is going to be their last year. So they're talking about it like it will be this Seinfeld. I mean, they got great characters, and they had a big article in Sunday's paper about the 2 guys that play Steinbrenner on
the back of his head.
Back of his head is one, and the voice of the other guy is really great. Cincinnati leading Montreal 2-0 on the Wiz scoreboard. 2 balls, 1 strike. Good breaking pitch, 2-2.
Now remember that little tight slider we talked about.
Yep.
Now there you see a little bigger
one,
sweeping breaking ball.
When he used to throw that split finger a lot. There's a high pop, that's playable. And Martinez one-hands it, and 1 man out. Remember, he used to throw a whole lot of wild pitches, Cohn. He led the league a couple of years in wild
That's
pitches.
because his stuff is so overpowering sometimes. You remember in the first inning, Girardi had a tough time on a fastball up. David doesn't throw 2 pitches with the same arm angle and the same speed.
Ooh,
you talked about the movement. He gets a lot of movement on his pitches.
All right, here's Vizquel, bunts foul at the plate.
Now here's interesting. Vizquel did such a great job batting second all last year. Now he's batting 9th. They put Franco in the number 2 hole. I asked Mike Hargrove why. He said, well, Franco handles the bat real well. He says at second he'll get 100 more at bats over the course of a season.
That part is true. And he got around on that one. Ooh, that slider hung up and in, and he really got around on it, but foul.
So you think that makes sense, huh, Scooter? Let Franco bat second in the lineup? Have Vizquel lower down?
In the sense that he gets 100 more at bats, but he's not really a second place hitter. Just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mean, Vizquel to me is more like a second place hitter. Can bunt.
And he's also a switch hitter.
Switch hitter, yeah.
Protects Lofton on the stolen bases.
Yeah, well, he jammed him, bouncer, and Martinez will take it himself. And that That's 2 away. And now we're back to the top. Kenny Lofton. He's flied to left and struck out.
This guy single-handedly just took over the games against Seattle in the championship series.
Yeah, he did.
On base,
Oh,
stealing
geez.
bases.
Strike one.
Shows the bunt. He had 10 bunt base hits last year.
Now he's got Boggs in. Let's see if he tries to slap one by him. He can do that very well. Low 1-1.
You're right. He's looking at Boggs now.
Yeah.
He actually took a glance at Boggs. Boggs is way up on the diamond. Now cuts out your range. You can't get to as many balls.
Going to be right at him. Oh, he tried it again, but that was a perfect pitch, a hanging breaking pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. 2-0 the Yankees lead in the bottom of the 5th.
Little chuckle out of Boggs. They play little games with the hitters.
That's right. And he's back in his regular position now, even a little deeper. He's out of there. Holy cow. Woo. That ball is moving. At the end of 5, the Yankees 2, the Indians nothing. All right, ready to go now in the top of the 6th inning with the Yankees leading 2-0. Strike. Ruben Sierra, when one of those hitters that lifts the leg, getting more and more of them. It's been a blessing for O'Neill, hadn't it, since he was taught how to lift that leg. Boy, he let that stroke down.
As long as you don't start diving forward.
Yeah. He got into that rut.
Right.
Yeah.
If you start going and now all of a sudden your weight's completely gone, you're going to get jammed on the fastball. You're going to be ahead of the breaking stuff. So, I mean, there's a fine line there with all that movement.
There is. Remember Mattingly, he would, when he was in that bad slump, that's what he was way out in his front foot. And he finally got to where he was lifting the leg right at the end.
With Ruben, his only thing, and they keep saying it over and over, being able to stay on the ball that's away from him. Durwood Merrill getting his exercise in at second base.
0-2 on Sierra. 3 balls, no strikes. Oh, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, the thing on Sierra, they said, well, if you can just keep the ball on the outside part of the plate, he's not going to hurt you. This guy puts up good numbers every year. That just tells you pitchers cannot put the ball exactly where they want all the time.
I guess if they could, they'd all be in the Hall of Fame. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a rip to center field. Oh man, did that ball hit hard. It stayed up all the way. It looked like it was going to drop. A line drive to center field.
First baseman number 24, Tino Martinez.
That's been the key. There's Eric Plunk, the right-hander, and Alan Embry, the left-hander. That's where they made their money last year.
Yep.
Their bullpen was so good. 3 right-handers, 3 left-handers. A lot of options for Mike Hargrove.
Oh, you need that depth. I tell you, Yankees got pretty good depth in that bullpen.
They're a little one-sided, right-handed. You know, Steve Howell's the only left-hander down there.
Well, that was something when Joe Torre was going to put Rogers in the bullpen.
It lasted one day.
One day. Rogers was stunned. I mean, everybody was stunned, really. And he had just pitched a beautiful ball game. But strike.
Yeah, Rogers is back in the rotation.
Yes. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Yankees leading 2-0, top of the 6th. Let's see. Tino Martinez has walked and bounced to second, and nice play. He bobbled it. He had the play and then bobbled it. Could go as a base hit. He was moving far to his left.
Bernie, one of these years, is going to have a good April and May.
Yeah.
He's going to wind up hitting 350 for the year.
Easy. There's a drive to right center. Lofton is there, though. And makes the catch. 2 men out.
Do you have any reason why, Scooter? What do you think? Why does Bernie struggle?
Sometimes it's mental. I remember Nettles always said, I never hit in the spring, and he never did hit in the spring. 1 year he did hit in the spring, and he couldn't explain why. I think, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's sometimes it just get it in your mind and you don't do it. But that seems kind of silly to figure it that way. If you know you're not going to hit good in the spring, there's got to be a reason.
The only thing I could think of, Bernie's from Puerto Rico, the warm weather, maybe the first month of the season, a little cool weather.
Very good thinking. That's got a lot to do with it. Although they're in Florida, that's the bad thing. They go from Puerto Rico to Florida, still get warm weather, and then they come up north and start. It really is a weird.
Well, Bernie hit .359 this spring with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. So maybe it's the warm weather. There's really not an answer for it.
But that's a good one. That's the most logical one I've heard. 2 men out, and Gerald Williams fly to right, struck out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talk about a good spring.
Yeah,
Gerald,
he had one. Yep.
384 with 2 home runs and 14 RBIs.
Two balls and a strike. Tino Martinez. He's not a base stealer, is he?
No. Maybe a little delayed steal once in a while. Try to catch the team off guard. Tim Raines, when he gets healthy, he'll be the base stealing threat for the Yankees this year. And he really, over the years, second all time in the American League. But he hasn't stolen a lot of bases.
Not
Tim
in the last
Raines.
couple of years.
In the last couple of years. He said he's capable of stealing 50.
Yeah.
Got to get him back healthy and stealing those bases.
Oh, Gerald Williams got that right foot almost out of the batter's box. Swing and a miss. Or a foul tip. Foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And you know, the hitter's thinking is the further back in the box, the longer you get to see the ball coming into the plate. Gives you a little better time to judge between the fastball and the breaking ball. You see, Scooter, he's just touching that line. Now, a smart hitter, you just wipe out that line.
Yes,
Just
a lot of guys do that. Now that's out now. He started on the line. I see a lot of them wipe that line out. Foul back out of play. I've never seen so many little planes flying around here with advertisements on the back pulling. Oh, now he's pitching like the Martinez. You know, before it was just about 500 balls and strikes. Now he's way ahead on strikes. Low, full count. So Martinez will be off.
92 pitches thrown by Dennis. Last year he averaged about 100 pitches a ball game. Now this is his first start for this season. You would think this would be it for Dennis.
This inning, huh?
This inning.
Yep.
Don't want to overextend your starting pitchers. You need them for the long season.
Runners going, and a ground ball. Nice play by Martinez. He threw the bat at the ball, actually. So that'll do it. And now at the end of 5½, it's the Yankees 2 and the Indians nothing.
We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Yankees lead the Indians 2-0. Julio Franco will lead it off for the Indians, followed by Baerga and then Albert Bell. So good hitters coming up here in the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees have 2 runs on 5 hits. The Indians no runs on no hits as David Cone delivers a called strike to Franco. Franco officially 0 for 1. He walked back in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd. I'm still mesmerized by how he holds that bat, Cerrone. Well struck into right field. That'll be the first base hit for the Indians. Barehanded by O'Neill. So Franco gets it started here in the 6th. Carlos Baerga will be the batter. As Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre look on here in the 6th. Baerga steps in. He's 0 for 2. A switch hitter batting from the left side. Nobody out here in the 6th. Pitch down low for a ball.
Baerga's a smart hitter. He's got the runner on first base. Franco, the big hole between 1st and 2nd. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go after a fastball and pull it in that hole.
over to first. Franco back in time. It makes sense, though, with that huge hole between first and second, at least for the first strike, to take a shot at pulling the ball in between first and second. Then after that, if you don't get it, well, just try to hit the pitch where it's at in the strike zone. Foul off to the right side, so the count goes to 1-1.
And you don't think that Girardi and Cone also know that this is what he's thinking? I think it's probably easier. Now, you were a left-hand hitter. It's probably easier to go after a fastball away from you to pull it in that hole, rather than the ball up on your inside on your hands.
I think it really depends on how the ball is moving in the strike zone. If the ball is moving down and away from you, it's a little bit harder to try to hook the ball between first and second. Obviously, your best percentage would be to look for something that's low and inside that you could pull in between there. Of course, I was such a pull hitter as far as Yankee Stadium was concerned. You had to almost learn how to, with that short right field fence at 296, you almost had to learn how to hook that ball into the right field corner if you could, even if the ball was outside. Arga broke his bat, so he's got some new lumber. Nobody out here at the bottom of the sixth. The Yankees lead it 2-0. Another throw over back in time is Franco. On deck is Albert Bell. Heard you and Scooter talking about this lineup. There is no let up no matter what happens.
All 300 hitters.
Well struck, could be two. Duncan to Jeter, back to Martinez. The double play, good double play, turned by the infield. And David Cone left to face Albert Bell with 2 away.
Bobby, that's exactly what you were talking about. Look at this pitch. Cone goes down and away from him, gets him to try to roll the ball over, and there's the 4.63 that you were talking about. Trying to pull it in the hole, doesn't work this time. Nice job.
I have really been impressed with the youngster at shortstop, Derek Jeter. He has made 2 or 3 fantastic plays this afternoon, besides hitting the home run. It's not easy breaking in as Albert Bell takes one outside. It's not easy breaking in with a guy that you're really not familiar with at second base on the big league level. Pat Kelly obviously was supposed to be the mate of Derek Jeter around second base. Pat's still bothered by that sore shoulder.
And then on top of it, Bobby, he was working with Tony Fernandez, who was filling in. Tony goes down. Now he's got to learn all over again with Duncan. And what you're talking about is the feed from the second baseman. Where does he like to throw the ball? It's a learning process for Jeter all over.
2-0 breaking ball in there for a called strike. 2-1, 2 away. Yankees lead it 2-0. David Cone has walked 5 in this game so far. You can see that it's a little bit cool. Working low and outside. Ball 3, 3-1. I mean, those numbers that Albert Bell put up last year, not win the MVP. I'm looking at the Red Book. That's the official book that the American League puts out. He's not even on the cover of the Red Book. Boy, he really made somebody mad. Outside, ball 4. So Bell is on. Eddie Murray will come to the plate.
You know, and I heard you and Scooter talking about that. And you know, his answer, remember, he got fined $50,000 for what he said to Hannah Storm and different little things. Well, how about what Tim Belcher did during the playoffs? If you remember, they had a camera follow him up into the dugout. He pushed the camera out of the way. They never even fined Belcher. And Bell says, hey, they're after me. They're coming after me. They're trying to come after me.
Well, there's no excuse, obviously, what Bell did to Hannah Storm. And Eddie Murray will step in. Murray 0 for 1 officially. Foul off the right side into the Yankee dugout.
We were talking about the consistency in his batting stance. Never changes. Never changes. He just puts that weight on his backside and just launches the ball from there. Led all left-hand hitters last year. Hit .340 against right-handed pitching.
High and outside. That'll leave the count up at 1-1. Why change it? He got Got his 3,000th hit last year. David Cone with 52 balls and 46 strikes in the game so far. I mentioned that he has 5 walks. Up high again, 2-1.
Now, what that tells me, Bobby, with the 98 pitches, 99 pitches now, and all the balls, he's trying to make the perfect pitch. That's what this lineup does to you, the Indians. There's no breather in the lineup. He cannot afford to lay balls down the middle of the plate when he gets behind hitters.
Another pitch high and outside. Now it goes to 3-1 with the left-handed bat of the third baseman Jim Thome on deck. Stottlemyre looking at the roster. There doesn't appear to be any activity in the Yankee bullpen at this time. Activity in the Indians bullpen. 3-1 pitches, swung on and missed. A bad ball that Murray swung at. He took a little bit off of it, Coney did. Murray almost twisted himself into the ground. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on and popped up left side of the infield. And Boggs takes it in, and David Cone once again is out of the inning. We've played 6 full here at Jacobs Stadium, and the Yankees lead it 2-0.
Yankees holding on to a 2-0 lead. Now's the decision time. Here again, 3-2. He goes with a little running fastball, or maybe, Bobby, like you said, a little changeup off the fastball. Little discussion with Stottlemyre. This is the decision time now. Does he give you one more inning, or do you go to the bullpen? It looks like he might be done from that expression.
Shaking some hands and headed to the Yankee locker room. That's Bob Whitman warming up now. So we're anticipating that in the 7th inning, Bob Whitman will come on for the Yankees. Dennis Martinez still in the game, and Joe Girardi will be batting for the Yankees. Girardi today has walked and struck out. Last year for Colorado, Girardi established some career highs with 121 hits, 8 home runs, and 55 RBIs. Those were career highs. He also scored 63 runs. 1 ball, 1 strike here at the top of the 7th. The Yankees out in front of the Indians 2-0. Vizquel is short, and there's one away. Girardi hit it good, but right at Vizquel. That'll bring up Derek Jeter.
The shortstop, number 2.
I wonder if they negotiated that first home run ball in the stand yet.
They were trying to negotiate it. They weren't able to get the ball back. Let's take a look at some upcoming Yankee telecasts. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Yankees at Cleveland on MSG. Thursday at 1, Yankees at Cleveland, MSG. Friday, 8:30 p.m. Yanks, Texas, PIX. Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Yanks at Texas on MSG. And Sunday at 8 p.m. Yankees at Texas on ESPN.
Well, Derek Jeter gives the Indians a different look. This time he tries to bunny his way on after hitting the home run in the 5th. Do you remember your first home run in the big leagues? High chopper to the third baseman Thome. He catches it fair, and it's going to be an infield single for Derek Jeter. It looked like Thome was going to let the ball go and bounce, and it looked like it would have bounced foul.
And Bobby, that's the deceiving thing about Derek Jeter. This is the old Baltimore chop. This kid can run. He gets down the line. Now that ball's right on the line. Thome has got to let the ball go foul. You're right. Let it go foul.
But does Thome know that it is indeed going to go foul? Because if it doesn't, it gets down the line, it's going to be a double. Well, I guess it was foul. I didn't see either umpire hold their hands up, fair or foul. We just anticipated that it was fair. Obviously now it was foul. No balls, 2 strikes to Jeter. Outside and low, 1-2.
That shows me I already put it down as a base hit for the kid.
Why not?
We gotta watch the umpires a little better. Well, we said he should have let it go foul.
This one inside. That'll leave the count up at 2-2. On deck is Wade Boggs.
Yeah, you never forget your first home run. Mine, 1977 against Nelson Bryles. I picked up on somebody who was at the end of his career in Arlington Stadium.
Down the line, Albert Bell is there to make the catch. Ball got in on Jeter just a bit, so he was unable to extend those long arms.
Well, now I asked you this. I'm looking at our notes, opening day notes that we have, and you hit two home runs on opening day. We saw the grand slam, the pinch hit, but in 1969, now you were a rookie that year, weren't you?
No.
Or your first start?
I think it was my first opening day start.
Another home run. 2 home runs on opening day.
Unbelievable.
Well, what about your first home run in the big leagues?
1965 in Washington. Bobby Richardson on at first base. Jim Duckworth was the pitcher.
Count?
Don't remember the count. You talking about the count of Montefusco? Boggsy 0 for 3. He's looking for his first hit. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away here in the 7th.
Do you still have the baseball? Your first home run ball?
You know, I don't think so. I don't know where it is. I think my kids took it out and played with it in the street someplace. Long time ago.
They weren't able to negotiate the deal with Derek Jeter's home run.
How do you know?
We saw them. He wanted 2 bats. They brought him different things. They had the security out there.
Are you kidding me?
Our crack camera crew. There he is. He's still holding the baseball.
Is he?
Somewhere in there. Talking about, well, should I take in the 2 bats and balls? So far, he hasn't made the deal.
Man, oh man. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Boggs. 2 away. High fly ball into shallow left field. Bell is there. The Yankees are gone 1, 2, 3 here in the 7th. We played 6.5. The Yankees lead it 2-0. Well, back here at Jacobs Field, bottom of the 7th inning. Coming to bat is Jim Thome, and Cerrone was wrong.
I said maybe.
David Cone is back on the mound here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It really did appear that he was through for the day. That's David Cone's 102nd pitch, right? So he's thrown 102 pitches now. Which David Cone will throw a lot of pitches during a ball game. Despite whether it's opening day or whether it's in the middle of the season. And, you know, Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, David Cone knows himself as well as anybody. Are you tired or are you not? And I don't think, you know, the one thing you got to build a lot of confidence in your pitching coach is that's going to be fouled down the left field line. I think, Rick, is the fact that you got to make sure that they tell you the truth.
Be honest with them.
And I believe
Exactly.
that Stottlemyre believes in David Cone and would tell him the truth.
Exactly. Tell him the truth. And this is your horse. He's going to let you know. He's still got good movement on his breaking pitches, good velocity.
Stottlemyre had David Cone back in his younger days. Hit well into center field, but Bernie is there, and there's 1 away. Manny Ramirez, who is 0 for 2.
Well, we got to see Manny Ramirez in the hotel we're staying at. Just a young kid. I mean, you never expect this. This guy hit 31 home runs last year.
Also a kid that played at George Washington High School and named New York City Public Schools High School Player of the Year back in 1991. And now here he is. He's been in the World Series already, and he's a star on the big league level. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 1 and 2. And I think he just signed a big package.
And exactly. I mean, you got to give John Hart. He's won the GM for the Indians. Has signed all their young talent to long-term deals, getting them away from that arbitration year. Sign them up. They know they can build a team around this guy. Vizquel signed a 6-year deal. They really have signed their important players for the future.
All young. Foul back out of play. Ramirez, I think, came to camp a little bit heavy this year. I think it was about 30 pounds overweight. That did not sit well with Mike Hargrove. So he made Manny Ramirez ride a stationary bike. He got him with the conditioning coach, and he made him ride a bike every day.
And it was a pink.
And it was a pink bike.
Pink bike.
Just to add, and they took the seat off of it too, so he couldn't sit down. He had to ride the bike all the time standing up. But he looks like he's in great shape right now.
There's Cone dropping down from the side, just different arm angles. Yeah, Carlos Baerga came in heavy. I mean, you know, you're on the banquet circuit. They're in demand, the Indians, but getting to John Hart, he's done a great job putting to, you know, the Indians lost over 100 ball games just in 1991, so they've come a long way in a short period of time.
Cone took a little off of that one, and Ramirez is down on a strike. Yankees lead it 2-0. Bottom of the 7th inning. Alomar goes the opposite direction. The second hit for the Indians. That'll bring up Omar Vizquel. Vizquel 0 for 2. Off the end of the bat into shallow center field. Derek Jeter back. What a play Derek Jeter made. Going back on the play to take a base hit and an RBI away from Omar Vizquel. The youngster is playing some kind of baseball. David Cone is pitching some kind of baseball, and the Yankees lead it 2-0.
Derek Jeter's doing it all today, defensively, hitting home run. The last play, Bobby, you raved about. Look at this. I mean, this has got to be a tough play for a shortstop. Over his back, makes the play. That's a nice play, especially with the runner on second base. That's an RBI for sure. Congratulations all the way around.
Going, the first guy there was David Cone. You know? Yeah. Hey, what a great play.
New pitcher for the Indians, Alan Embry. Hard throwing left-hander. I mean, it's got to be nice for Mike Hargrove. 3-2 last season. That ERA is a little deceiving. Really pitched well for him in the playoffs. 24 innings. This is a guy that lost a whole year to elbow surgery. Martinez did a great job. 7 innings, only 5 hits, but he's given up those 2 runs. And Coney's just pitched a little bit better.
And we go to the top of the 8th inning, and Mariano Duncan leads it off for the Yanks. Mariano 1 for 3 with a run score. First pitch is swung on, strike 1. Not a lot is talked about as far as the bullpen is concerned with these Indians, but you take a look at some of these guys. Tavares, Plunk, Mesa, Embry, they all get it up above 90 miles an hour, so he's got some heat coming in and out of that bullpen.
Yeah, and the bullpen last year 32-13 with 50 saves.
Fouled off to the right side, now to play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talking about Eric Plunk, former Yankee and Oakland A, now warming up in the bullpen. It may be now that he will go 1-2 hitters a pitcher and give each and every one of them some work. Talking about Mike Hargrove. Did he go around? They appeal. Yes, he did. Paul O'Neill 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Doubled into left center field. Back in the first inning, had a double in the left field. Down the left field line in the 3rd. That's when he knocked in the run. Yankees lead it 2-0. 1 out here in the 8th. Embry outside with a ball, so it's 2 balls, no strikes down to O'Neill.
Bobby, and a good thing for Yankee fans to see Paul O'Neill go the other way, hit the ball where it's pitched, not try to force and pull balls. He's a much better hitter when he stays gap to gap.
Another ball outside. It's 3-0. Bob Wickman continues to throw in a Yankee bullpen. O'Neill taking all the way. Ball 4 up high. So with 1 out, 1 on, Ruben Sierra will come to the plate.
Number 25, Ruben Sierra.
Well, the Yankee bullpen, we talked about the Indians bullpen. If the Yankee bullpen can get Bob Wickman to get that consistent sinker that he has, and he has a good one too, and to throw it for strikes. John Wetland has come up with what he calls a new pitch. He's had it all along, but he didn't throw it last year. That was the slider. And Wetland with that curveball, the fastball, and now a slider. He's got to be tough. Sierra takes 1 high and inside for a ball. So that's 5 balls in a row that Embry has thrown.
See Julio Franco, the veteran at first base, took a couple of steps in to calm down. Doesn't always have to be the catcher. Could be an infielder.
Now backing out of play. Ruben Sierra has always been a free swinger. And Julio Franco and Paul O'Neill talking it over at first base. I always like, especially on a cold day like this, first day of the season, first game of the season. The guy's throwing 5 or 6 balls in a row. I'm going to make him throw me a strike. Trying to make it be in my zone. Up high, ball 2, 2-1 now.
And your zone, left-hand hitter, low, down and in. Love the ball down and in, right?
Yeah, something inside and low. Base hit left field. One hop to Albert Bell, so the Yankees with runners at first and second, 1 away. That'll give Tino Martinez a chance to knock in a run.
First baseman.
I think some of the great hitters said that out of every 3 pitches on an average, you will get 1 out of every 3 that's a good ball to hit. And obviously they can't put it every time where they want to. Tino Martinez takes a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Tino got a base hit, an infield hit back in the 6th. Off the glove of Mayorga. So he is officially 1 for 2 this afternoon as a New York Yankee. Good pitch by Embry on the outside corner. Now it's 0-2.
Tino really made an improvement last year against left-handed pitching. I asked him, I said, well, what was it? He says, well, just getting more at bats. Pinella didn't pinch hit for me. I got to hit it. He hit it over 300 against left-handed pitching last year.
Outside and low for a ball.
Yeah, he just said that, you know, I just felt comfortable. I didn't have to look over my shoulder. Lou let me go, and I think that had a lot to do with me having that type of year.
That means a lot to a left-handed batter. Just means a lot confidence-wise, as you mentioned. And one thing a player does not want is to be labeled that he's only a right-handed, pitching hitter. He's not a left-hander. Pitch outside, so Tino has worked the count now to 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 down, men at first and second for the Yankees.
Put the runners in motion right here.
We're going to watch and see. The runners go, and the pitch is swung on. Mayorga will not go to second, and only because the runners were in motion. If they hadn't been, it would have been a double play. So the Yankees move runners up to second and third with 2 away, and Bernie Williams will get a shot. They're going to pitch to Bernie. Inside and low with the right-hander out of the bullpen. You would think with Gerald Williams and first base open, maybe they haven't seen Bernie's stats from last year.
From the right side.
And from the right side.
More power.
Bernie looking for his first base hit. Or it may be one of those situations, Cerrone too, where they say just don't walk him, just pitch around him.
I absolutely hated it. More balls were hit that way, and we lost more ball games when they came out and said, okay, pitch around them, don't give them anything good to hit. And the next thing you know, pitchers are throwing breaking balls. They made a lot of mistakes with those breaking balls.
Oh, what a mistake here. Look at this. Bernie Williams delivers it into left field, a 3-run shot. I don't understand it. But anyway, Bernie Williams has turned it around, and the Yankees lead it 5-0.
Just what we were talking, Bobby. You try to pitch around somebody. Embry fell behind 2-0, and he came in with a low fastball, and Bernie took care of it. He said, Sandy Alomar, I'll take care of that ball. Let me handle this one. That's, again, you want to pitch around a guy. Not saying that's what Mike went out there or Wiley went out there to say, okay. But right there, fastball down, and Bernie took care of the rest.
But if you're playing the inning by percentage, you've got to put Bernie on and pitch to Gerald Williams if you're going to bring the right-hander in. I would think, or even if you don't bring the right-hander in, you'd like to pitch to Gerald Williams.
There's that fastball, 2-0 fastball, hitter's dream, and it was actually down and in.
Bernie's happy about that. As Gerald Williams has a 1-ball, 1-strike count on him. With 2 away here in the 8th inning, the Yankees now lead it 5-0. Foul back and out of play, 1-2.
Bernie Williams, I mean, from the right side, so much, I mean, much stronger from the right side.
That ball jumped out of here. Well, that's what we're up here for, you know, to second guess everybody. But I'm just talking about, you know, I'm talking about the percentages. It's just a better percentage to pitch to Gerald Williams, no matter if it's a left-hander or a right-hander, instead of Bernie Williams.
And we're just speculating that they said pitch around him, don't give him something good to hit. So many times that we got burned that way.
Another pitch foul back and out of play. Gerald is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. You mentioned the left-handers in that Indian bullpen, along with Ossenmacher. Poole is also left-handed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A real good balance for Hargrove. 3 righties, 3 lefties down there. Where on the Yankees side, they only have Steve Howell, the 1 lefty in the bullpen.
Swing and a miss at a bad pitch, and Williams is gone, but the Yankees do damage here in the 8th inning. A Bernie Williams 3-run shot puts the Yankees out in front 5-0. Bob Wickman is the new pitcher now for the Yankees. So David Cone is gone, and he leaves the game after going 7 innings. He gave up only 2 base hits, no runs. The Yankees lead it 5-0. And here's a guy that could be such an important part of this Yankee bullpen. Kenny Lofton leads it off. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Bob Wickman has to get his confidence back in that sinker and throw it for strikes.
A little bit easier to come in the ball game 5-0 when you're Wickman than 2-0. You can afford the luxury of making a mistake here and there. But like you said, a real hard sinker ball. Just throw it in the middle of the plate, let it sink down and away.
Well, what he did last year, you know, he had that good sinker, but he wasn't throwing it for strikes. So he'd come into the ball game and he'd be 2-0, 3-1 on these hitters. Then he'd have to throw that fastball in there, and they were hitting it hard.
Yeah, he can help right there. Mel Stottlemyre.
Talk about a sinker ball pitcher.
And you know what? That is what's good for this staff. They have a guy that's had the sinker in his repertoire. He can fine-tune it.
Derek Jeter makes a good effort at it, but it's past him into left field for a base hit. So Kenny Lofton gets it started for the Indians here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They couldn't have, I don't think, gotten anybody any better than Mel Stottlemyre as a pitching coach. First of all, he knows Doc Gooden. He knows David Cone. He can really help Bob Wickman, and he's a pitcher's coach. You know what I'm saying? He loves those guys, and they're just like sons to him.
Yeah, he's out there pitching with every batter. He's out there working.
And Joe Torre has given Mel a lot of responsibility. Joe does not meddle into that pitching coach theory and let him work with his players. They got a good thing going right now. Stepping in is Julio Franco. 1 for 2 officially, and Wickman delivers down low for a ball. Kenny Lofton obviously with a lot of speed at first base. Indians behind 5-0. Strike 1 to Franco.
Good hard slider that Wickman features that he could throw for strikes. Yeah, you mentioned Lofton stealing bases. If you're down 5-0 in the bottom of the 8th, you better be safe. It cannot be close if you try to steal in this situation.
Lofton with 54 stolen bases last year. That pitch inside and low, ball 2, 2-1.
You know, Bobby, I talked to Girardi. I wanted to find out, have you caught all your pitchers? You're new over here. And he says, yeah, I've gotten to work with everybody, and I know how their ball moves. That's a big thing for a catcher.
Lofton goes. There is no throw. A swing and a miss. Well, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lofton with the big jump at first, even though they were holding him on. I don't think Bob Wickman was paying too much attention to Lofton.
It becomes outs now. You need 6 outs to win the ball game. Count your way down if you're the catcher and the pitcher. Start counting those outs down. You need 6 more. But for Girardi to be able to handle a new staff, that's a tough thing. I remember in spring training, you'd go the whole spring without catching the bullpen. You know how it goes. You catch the first 5 innings. You're not there for the rest of the game. You're missing it.
New coach Jose Cardinal moving some infielders around, outfielders. Another pitch down low and outside, 3-2. If you take a look at this Yankee coaching staff, it's almost like a Hall of Fame coaching staff or an all-star coaching staff. Chris Chambliss, the hitting instructor, Jose Cardinal, Mel Stottlemyre. You got Joe Torre.
Popeye.
You got Popeye Don Zimmer, who's been around forever.
Willie Randolph.
Second time around with the Yankees. Don Zimmer. Willie Randolph at third. Pitch foul, backing out of place.
Willie Randolph. You have Tony Cloninger in the bullpen. I mean, a veteran staff, guys that have been in the major leagues. And like you said, they have their own responsibilities. Willie's responsible for the infielders. Jose's for the outfielders. So it's nice staff they've assembled.
And that's the way Joe Torre wants it. If you're going to have a coach, and if he's going to be the pitching coach, let him handle the pitchers. If you've got a hitting instructor, let him handle the hitters. 3 balls, 2 strikes, bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody out. Nobody sitting in the Yankee dugout. Everybody looks like are standing. Another pitch foul, backing out of play.
I mentioned about Julio Franco. To me, he was always a great off-speed hitter. You know, if you threw a breaking ball for a strike, he hammered it. I mean, you could tempt him with the bad breaking ball that's off the plate. You might get lucky. He'll chase one. But you throw breaking balls for strikes, he's going to hurt you.
Lofton down at second. Chopped foul at home plate. On deck is Carlos Baerga. And you can see he's got that hot water bottle on a very cool afternoon on opening day here in 1996. He's got the hot water bottle, but he doesn't have the long sleeve shirts on. He got a short sleeve shirt.
And it's getting colder by the minute.
I'd have a turtleneck. I'd have long sleeve shirts. Lofton takes off for third. The pitch is high and inside, ball 4. So Bob Whitman has faced 2 batters, and 2 men are on for the Indians. Still nobody out, and Baerga comes to the plate.
Now you have first and third. Steve Howell, the only lefty in the Yankees bullpen, getting up for further down the order. You have Eddie Murray, Jim Thome, the left hand. Well, Murray the switch hitter, but Thome the left hand bat.
Carlos Baerga 0 for 3. Indians with something going on here in the bottom of the 8th. And Whitman down low again.
Mentioned 29 victories, come from behind victories in their last at bat. So this team doesn't give up. They're expecting to make a run at you. You just hope. It's almost like the basketball game the other night, Syracuse, Kentucky. They're going to make a run at you. Can we hold on to it?
Grounded towards the right side, and Duncan's only play is the force. Franco at second. Lofton comes on to score, so it's 5-1 in favor of the Yankees. Albert Bell will be the batter.
Left fielder, number 8, Albert Bell.
2 stolen bases. Gets the run home by Baerga. Yankees get the force out at second. Now the double play is still in order. I guess they consider those stolen bases. I mean, nobody was really holding him on and paying attention to him, but it'll be credited as 2 stolen bases.
Up to the official scorekeeper. Albert Bell 0 for 1. He has walked twice today. Sharply hit off of the foot of Bob Whitman, and it gets past Jeter into left field, and Baerga will go to third. Now let's see if Whitman is all right. I mean, that was a bullet right up the middle. Joe Torre on his way to the mound, and he's going to go to the bullpen. And it looks like it's going to be Art. Check that, Steve Howe. Wickman is gone. That ball hit him pretty good on the shin, too, so he may have one of those little shin burgers on there, and he'll get some ice on it. But the Yankees are making a pitching change. We'll be back right after these messages.
New left-handed pitcher. There you see the score. Yankees 5, Indians 1. They have something cooking. First and third, 1 out. Steve Howell, the new pitcher, makes Eddie Murray flip-flop around to the right side. Howell won the job in spring training. Was 2-1 with 1 save and a 2.08 ERA in spring training. Beat out Paul Gibson, who also had a good spring. Torrey wanted to flip Murray over to the right side. 80-point difference last year. Murray was a .340 hitter left-handed, 268 from the right side.
And less power from the right side. First and third, and Steve Howell's first fastball in there for a called strike. Murray on the day is officially 0 for 3. Walked back in the 4th. Mel Stottlemyre continues to look on. So Wickman is gone. He started this inning in the 8th. And he got 1 out before leaving. Slash foul off to the right side.
It's something, Bobby. This Indians team, they expect to come back at you because they had so much success doing it last year. Well, this is 96. They have to start all over again. It seems like for some reason the 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th innings, they get jump started. They've won so many games coming from behind that they expect to do it.
0-2 the count. Howell delivers outside and low for a ball.
29 wins in their last at bat, 9 of them coming with the home run. That's, you know, you leave them standing out there if you beat them with the home run.
Popped him up right side. It is playable for Martinez. Foul territory, 2 away.
Howell against Tomei, the left-hand hitter.
Tomei 0 for 1 officially. He has walked twice in the game. Runners remain at first and third for the Indians here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-1 Yankees. Up high. Now that's one of the other things that I think concerns the Yankees a bit. Has Howell lost a little bit off of his fastball? If he has, you know, his nature or his way of pitching is up in the strike zone. That is extremely dangerous. Now low this time, ball 2, 2-0.
You can see actually he's throwing that little 2-seam fastball that has a little sink to it. You're right, though. If you still think you have the good Getty up high, those balls go a long way. Tomei hit .275 against left-handers last year. He improved his batting average 100 points from the year before. That's where he made his most improvement, Bobby. Got to see more lefties, just like Tino Martinez. A lot more confidence against left-handed pitching.
3 balls, no strikes to Tomei. The guy you really want, the left-handed batter. And that's in there for a called strike, 3-1. Looks like he let up just a little bit to get that one over.
This is the guy you got to get out. This is what Howell's on this team for, to get those left-hand hitters out late in the ballgame. There's the tying run in Manny Ramirez.
Threw that one by. Up out of the strike zone, so the count goes to 3-2. The runner goes, the pitch is swung on, grounded to the right side. Duncan up with it to Martinez, and the Yankees get out of a big jam here in the 8th inning. Steve Howe comes on and does the job. We'll go to the 9th with the Yankees leading at 5-1.
New pitcher Eric Plunk's been warming up in the bullpen and gets his opportunity. You try to work. I mean, the guys that seem like they don't get enough opportunity to pitch, the guys in the bullpen. Try to keep them sharp. Right here, his job is to hold them so they can get a whack at him in the bottom of the 9th. Plunk, you know Plunk, Bobby, good hard fastball, hard breaking ball, everything hard, and he's really found a niche here. Mike Hargrove uses him the right way, brings him in, and he responded. 6-2 last year. Only 24 walks. That's the one knock. I mean, Eric, when we had him here with the Yankees, once in a while would give up some walks and fall behind, but he's worked ahead in the count and made it a lot easier for himself.
But I think the thing that settled Eric Plunk down here in Cleveland is that he knows exactly what his role is. Girardi leading it off for the Yankees, pops the first pitch up the right side, and it will be back into the stands. So Girardi 0 for 2 this afternoon with a walk. How long does it take for a guy out of the National League to adjust to all these American League pitchers?
Well, you know, it's funny. I talked to Paul O'Neill today about that. You've been over here 3 years. I said, how about the pitching? Explain the difference. He said, well, there's really not that much difference. He says you got to get a little feel and learn those pitchers. As far as Girardi, his bigger thing now, because he's a catcher, he's got to learn the hitters. His hitting is secondary. That's, as a catcher, you have to think that way.
And I think that's what the Yankees saw in Girardi when they picked him up too. Up high, ball 2, 2-1. Top of the ninth inning, Yankees lead at 5-1. On deck is Derek Jeter. Eric Plunk, the third pitcher used by the Indians this afternoon so far. Now backing out of play, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Paul O'Neill talking about the comparison of the two leagues. He said he loves the American League ballparks because there's more tradition. He's got a little bit of a headache, I think, working opening day. But he says it's a lot nicer playing in the American League.
Well, struck into left field for a base hit. So Girardi with his first New York Yankee base hit here in 1996. The Yankees have their first man on here in the ninth inning.
Derek Jeter.
That'll bring up Derek Jeter, who's had a heck of an afternoon so far. He is 2 for 3 with his first home run as a major league player. First rookie to homer on opening day since Jerry Kinney did it back in 1969, April the 7th, that is. And this time he squares the bunt, but it's up high for a ball. So it's been, well, 69. So
yeah, who else?
How long has that been?
Yeah, who else homered on that day, that opening day?
It says here Mercer and Alston Howard also homered that day. We weren't rookies, though. Another pitch outside. Talking about a guy I just loved was Alston Howard. Man, he was the best. You talk about the Yankee catchers over the years when you got Dickey and Berra and Ellie and Munson and you, and I mean, it's just the Yankee catchers are just unbelievable. And Ellie was just a prince of a person. This time he swings at a 2-0 pitch and fouls it off to the right side. So let's take a look at Derek Jeter's home run in the 5th inning.
Martinez trying to go away with the fastball, gets it up and in. And Bobby, I mentioned at the time that not too many guys handle the ball up in the strike zone anymore, but Jeter put a charge in.
You got to get on him, though. I mean, he took off like it was going to be a double. I mean, you know, a rookie,
and he hit
the
it.
veteran guys, they know they got to get all over it and say, what in the world? Don't you know when the ball is gone when you hit it?
And it was way gone over the exit in the bullpen, in the stands.
Yeah, I'm sure he got teased a bit about that. If you go back to that, you know, that replay there, you'll see he took off like it was going to be a gapper. And he squares the bunt again. This time it's foul, so it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trying to get Girardi down to second base, but Wade Boggs and Mariano Duncan knock him in if they can. 5-1, the Yankees lead it here in the top of the 9th inning.
The thing with Girardi, for a catcher, he runs well. He can steal you a base occasionally. You can put him in motion. Jeter can handle the bat. Another option they have with the fleet of foot, a catcher. I like to say that when a catcher can run good.
You've said a lot about catchers this afternoon for some reason or another.
I had to defend the catchers. I heard you guys saying that the shortstop, the smartest guy on the field.
Well, I mean, Scooter said that, and I just happened to agree with him.
You came up as a shortstop. I know that. I didn't miss that. How about opening days, Bobby? Anyone that stand out in your mind? No?
Opening days were, besides being in the playoffs of the World Series, the most exciting day that you had all year long. Always a goosebump, no matter how many years you played. Girardi off with the pitch to throw in the dirt. Darn near took Eric Plunk's head off. So Girardi, you're talking about that speed.
Did you see that catcher go down there?
Yeah.
Good pitch to run on, the 2-2 breaking ball. Plunk's got the high leg kick. How about this? Look at this. Breaking ball, good pitch. See, that's intelligence. He read that. He read the breaking ball. Stealing bases.
3-2 pitch swung on, and Jeter is gone as we take another look at Girardi stealing his first base. Well, that's something the Yankees certainly didn't do last year. No stolen base. I mean, they just didn't hardly run at all. Buck Showalter didn't believe in the speed in the Yankees, and they didn't have a whole lot of speed. So Jeter strikes out, 1 away. Girardi down at second.
Fastball right by Jeter. Plunk is done. Hargrove makes the move. He's got a lot of options in that bullpen.
Assenmacher will come on to face the left-hander Wade Boggs. Well, another pitching change here at Jacobs Field in Cleveland. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
New pitcher Paul Assenmacher, 6-2 last year. I mean, this guy comes in. we found 2 bad seats.
That's
Bobby.
a matter of opinion.
That's the only.
Have you ever sat in those seats? How do you know they're bad?
That's Bob Uecker's seat. Alongside the wall.
Boggsy with a chance to knock in Girardi at second with 1 away. Assenmacher delivers up high. Boggs 0 for 4 this afternoon. Flied out 3 times. Hits this one back up the middle by Erga. Back behind second base will throw out Boggs. 2 away. Girardi moves to third.
Second baseman, number 18, Mariano.
Good play by Erga.
And that's Assenmacher's specialty, getting left-hand hitters out.
Yep.
Last year they only hit 177 against him. This is a guy who likes left-hand pitching, and they're going to intentionally walk him.
Pitch to Paul O'Neill, another left-handed batter. So Mariano Duncan will get a free pass. This just in. Melito Perez was examined Monday evening at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York Sports Clinic by Dr. Stuart Hershon, the Yankee Yankee orthopedic doctor. And after a series of tests, Rick, arthroscopic surgery of his right elbow was recommended. However, we understand that Melito will fly from New York to California for a second opinion by Dr. Louis Yoakum. Well,
that's not a good sign. That you don't want to see that. Remember, we talked about in spring training, we were looking at the 7 starters.
Yeah.
You never have enough starting pitching.
But the Yankees' concern was that each and every time Melito went out there, his velocity dropped, and it was down to below 80 miles an hour the last time he went out. So now the Yankees with first and third, 2 outs. Paul O'Neill gets a chance to hit. O'Neill 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Check that, 2 runs scored. Think of it here, you just don't see. It says arthroscopic surgery is recommended, but doesn't say what kind of surgery.
Well, he wasn't experiencing pain, but yet his
Maybe
velocity numbers were
bone chips or
coming
whatever.
down.
Couldn't get loose. And obviously that was a concern.
And the other thing, Bobby, right now the Yankees are a 24-man roster. Melito's on his way to California to get re-examined. They're 1 guy short because he's not on the disabled list.
They were expecting Perez to maybe join the ball club tomorrow. Outside corner for a called strike, 1-1 if the tests went well. And obviously they didn't. 2 away here in the top of the 9th. Paul O'Neill hits one into left field. Coming on his bell, he won't make the play. Coming on to score is Girardi, and the Yankees lead it 6-1. Paul O'Neill with his 3rd base hit, his 2nd RBI of 1996. Clutch hitting by Paul O'Neill, who continues to lead this ball club.
Another nice job. Now, this is not an easy left-hander to hit. You see the inside-out stroke. That ball's actually inside. He drags his hand through the hitting zone and drives it to left field. Nice job of hitting. Bell gave it everything he had. He was lucky the ball didn't get by him. But that stolen base by the catcher, Joe Girardi.
All right.
Big important run for the Yankees.
Well, that was a good. You bet it was. And the Yankees, once they get Tim Raines.
Is that enough? In other words, I've said enough about the catcher, right?
You said more than I wanted to hear. I mean, I like Joe Girardi, but Ruben Sierra, 1 ball, 1 strike to Ruben.
But really, that piece of hitting by O'Neill, that's nice. That's a nice sign. Driving the ball the other way. And then when he goes to New York, he'll get those cheapies inside and pull them down the right field line.
Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Well struck and off the glove of the third baseman Tomei. Around third is Duncan. He will score. O'Neill will hold up at third, and now the Yankees lead it 7-1. That ball was blistered.
First baseman, number 24, Tino Martinez.
Couldn't tell right off the bat. Here's Sierra, the high leg kick hits a bullet. Couldn't tell if Tomei could have made that play. It looked like it just handcuffed him. That's how hard the ball was hit. And in the scoring is a double and an RBI.
So 2 runs have already been scored by the Yankees here in the top of the 9th, and Tino Martinez takes one in there for a called strike. Mariano Duncan comes in to score. Timely hitting, and Martinez hits it well, but right to Kenny Lofton in center field. The Yankees do some damage in the top of the 9th inning, and they need a lot of runs against this powerful Cleveland Indian ball club. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees lead at 7-1.
Bobby, here's the Jeep Eagle game summary, brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. O'Neill, the RBI double in the 3rd. Jeter's first major league home run, and a blast. And you talked about the trot. He's got to work on the home run trot a little bit.
Got to.
Bernie Williams, big 2-0 fastball down and in, and just hammered it off of Alan Emery for a 3-run homer. Big hit of the ball game. Lofton steals 2 bases, winds up scoring on an infield out by Baerga, and the RBIs from O'Neill and Sierra gives you the 7-1 score. There's the kid. He's got to be feeling pretty good, huh?
I would think so.
He's calm, though. I mean, nothing seems to faze him. Nice plays in the on defense and the home run. John Wetland, the new pitcher. 31 saves last year. Getting some work in early April.
And Wetland needs to get that confidence back in himself. He's got the good fastball. That messing up high to Manny Ramirez. Bottom 3 due up for the Indians. 7-1. The Yankees lead it here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's got a great curveball, and he says he's found the grip now on his slider that he didn't throw last year. Said he was just fooling around in the winter, you know, with the baseball, and all of a sudden he said, "Hey,
got it back."
That's what it's supposed to be like. That's what it's supposed to feel like."
Gives him another option. Yeah. Another pitch he could throw for strikes.
And I talked to some guys about John Wetland. Popped up behind home plate. Girardi makes the catch over the National League, and they said that he had a heck of a slider.
Well, I think as a starting pitcher, too. He started most of his career in the minor leagues. You need 3-4 pitches. But when you come in the save situation, I can understand. Use your 2 best pitches. So you go away from your 3rd pitch. But, hey, it's a nice option to have. Pinch hitter in the ball game. Looks like Burnett's.
Left-handed bat. Burnett's pinch hitting for Sandy Alomar with 1 away. Strike 1 on the outside corner.
People will remember his name from New York Mets days. Hit 13 home runs as a rookie for the Mets in 99 4, I believe it was.
To the right side, and Martinez will take it himself. 2 away here in the 9th. Omar Vizquel will be the batter.
Shortstop, number 13.
It's got to be a little tough to be an outfielder in their organization, Bob, in Cleveland. They're set for a long time with Bell, Lofton, and Ramirez in the outfield.
Beautiful shot of the stadium here. Jacobs Field in Cleveland. 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees lead at 7-1. Omar Vizquel, the batter. Slashes it foul off to the left side. Well, David Cone is the pitcher of record here on opening day 1996. I haven't seen a smile yet from Joe Torre, but I'm sure he'll be flashing that here real soon.
Could be his
It's not over until it's over, and I'm sure he understands what that means.
Yeah, you don't say anything too soon, but there's some guys looking at their first win, Torre, in a Yankee uniform.
That breaking ball, he went around, so it'll be no balls, 2 strikes. Scott at third. There's Tino Martinez. So if the Yankees win this afternoon, it appears that they will get his first win under his hat as a Yankee. Inside corner fastball, strike 3, and the Yankees win the season opener 7-1 against this Cleveland Indian ball club. Well, the Yankees have done well in opening up the 94th American League season today for the New York Yankees, and the Yankees have now won 5 straight season openers and 10 out of their last 11.